Narito ang official and updated projected complete lineup ng Rain or Shine Elastopainters para sa PBA 50th season. Point guards: Felix Limetti, sophomore, injured list, 6'1", 170 pounds, 26 years old, 6.4 points, 3.1 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 0.3 steals, 17% 3-point shooter, 92% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Andre Karakut, veteran star, 5'8", 180 pounds, 29 years old, 11.7 points, 1.9 rebounds, 3 assists, 0.4 steals, 37% 3-point shooter, 75% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Anton Asistio, 5'10", 175 pounds, 30 years old, 6.3 points, 1.2 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 0.1 steal, 43% 3-point shooter, 75% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Adrian Nocum, star player, 6 feet, 167 pounds, 26 years old, 15.2 points, 3.6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.1 steals, 0.2 blocks, 28% 3-point shooter, 69% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Shooting guards: Sean Ildefonso, 6'2", 198 pounds, 27 years old, 3.9 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 0.1 block, 20% 3-point shooter, 75% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Gian Mamuyak, rising star, 6'2", 165 pounds, 26 years old, 12.3 points, 3.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.4 steals, 15% 3-point shooter, 82% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Stanley Pringle, new veteran star via free agent signing, 6'1", 185 pounds, 37 years old, 13.2 points, 3.8 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.1 steals, 37% 3-point shooter, 80% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Small forwards: Mike Malonzo, sophomore, 6'3", 185 pounds, 25 years old, 5.3 points, 3.9 rebounds, 0.4 assists, 0.4 blocks, 18% 3-point shooter, 82% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Jonard Clarito, rising star, 6'2", 187 pounds, 29 years old, 11.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.2 steals, 0.5 blocks, 40% 3-point shooter, 72% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Gabe Norwood, playing coach, 6'6", 190 pounds, 40 years old, 5.5 points, 4.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 0.6 steals, 36% 3-point shooter, 70% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Chris Kuhn, PBA 50th draft target, 6'5", 209 pounds, 23 years old, 7.6 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 0.5 steals, 33% 3-point shooter, 75% free throw shooter in his UAAP 87th season averages. Power forwards: Chris Porter, 6'5", 195 pounds, 30 years old, 3.4 points, 1.3 rebounds, 0.6 assists, 18% three-point shooter, 80% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Leonard Santillan, 6'4", 210 pounds, 29 years old, 12.9 points, 7.8 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.8 blocks, 28% three-point shooter, 52% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Kaylan Kyongson, rising star, 6'5", 204 pounds, 33 years old, 13.2 points, 5 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 0.7 blocks, 38% three-point shooter, 58% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Tyrus Hill, try out for a roster spot to rain or shine, 6'5", 185 pounds, 28 years old, 0.9 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.1 assists, 50% three-point shooter, 6.2 minutes per game in his last PBA 49 Commissioner's Cup averages. Centers: Luis Villegas, injured player, 6'7", 215 pounds, 28 years old, 2.5 points, 2 rebounds, 0.5 assists, 0.5 blocks, 25% three-point shooter, 40% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Governor's Cup averages. Bo Belga, team captain, 6'5", 280 pounds, 38 years old, 2.3 points, 2 rebounds, 0.3 assists, 50% three-point shooter, 50% free throw shooter, 6.7 minutes per game in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Kit Datu, 6'8", 220 pounds, 29 years old, 7.1 points, 4.1 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 0.3 steals, 0.6 blocks, 37% three-point shooter, 86% free throw shooter in his PBA 49th Philippine Cup averages. Ito ang official and updated projected complete lineup ng Rain or Shine Elastopainters para sa PBA 50th season. Sa tingin niyo mga kababos, mas lumakas ba ang Rain or Shine sa bago nilang lineup? I-comment nyo na po yan sa baba.